Title: Joe Rogan called Jasmine Crockett fake lawyer. 41s later, she exposed his secret drug deal. Joe Rogan was live on air, the neon lights of the studio glowing against the black foam walls. Millions were tuned in, waiting for another blunt, unfiltered conversation. He leaned forward into the mic, smirking. "So, Jasmine Crockett," he said, voice dripping with sarcasm. "You call yourself a lawyer, but some people say you're just playing dress up. A fake lawyer." The audience laughed. Twitter lit up instantly. It was the kind of moment designed to humiliate. But Jasmine didn't flinch. She was a civil rights attorney with a heart bigger than her ego. She wasn't there to win arguments. She was there to tell the truth. "Joe," she said calmly, "I'm not here to defend my resume. I'm here to talk about the kids you never see, the ones stuck in broken neighborhoods, where a bag of food means more than a bag of fame." He tilted his head, surprised. She continued. "You want to know something funny?" she said, leaning into her mic. 41 seconds ago, I almost walked out because of what you just called me. But I stayed, because I know something about you." The room tensed. His co-host glanced nervously toward the sound engineer. "You talk about freedom and hard work," she said softly, "but you never told your audience how. 10 years ago, you quietly donated $250,000 to a rehab center in East LA, a place that saved over 300 young men from drug addiction." Joe froze. "How do you know about that?" he asked. "I know," Jasmine said, her voice warm now, "because I was one of the volunteer lawyers helping those young men clear their records. You didn't want your name on it. You just wanted them to have a second chance. That's not the work of a fake lawyer, and it's not the work of a fake man." The studio went silent. The laughter was gone. The world had just seen a different side of him. Joe leaned back, eyes softening. "Guess the secret's out," he said quietly. "I didn't want credit, just wanted to help." "Exactly," Jasmine smiled. "Sometimes kindness is the most powerful deal you can make." That clip went viral, not because of the insult, but because of the grace in the response. People saw that compassion could cut deeper than cruelty, and that the truth, when wrapped in kindness, can change the story entirely. In the end, no one remembered the words, "fake lawyer." They remembered the moment two people, on opposite sides of a microphone, proved that humanity still matters more than headlines. Moral: kindness doesn't need a spotlight, but when it gets one, it can light up the world. If you'd like, I can also adapt this into a perfect narration script with pacing cues and emotional beats so it flows naturally for a 10 to 12-minute delivery. That would make it truly sound like a spoken story instead of just text. Joe Rogan called Jasmine Crockett fake lawyer. 41 seconds later, she exposed his secret drug deals. The red, on air, sign glowed above the studio door. Millions of people were watching. And Joe Rogan, America's unapologetic, say it how it is voice, leaned in toward the mic. "So, Jasmine Crockett," he said with that trademark grin, "you call yourself a lawyer, but some folks out there say you're just playing dress up. A fake lawyer." The crowd laughed. Online chat went wild, the kind of laugh that feels like a slap. Most guests would have defended themselves right away, listed credentials, bragged about court wins, maybe even thrown an insult back. But Jasmine didn't. She just looked at him. Calm. Her heart was racing, but her voice steady as a rock. "Joe," she said, "I didn't come here to defend my resume. I came here to talk about the people nobody's talking about. The ones in neighborhoods where a bag of groceries means more than a bag of fame." Joe's smile faded just a little. The audience got quieter. She went on. "And you know what's funny? 41 seconds ago, I almost stood up and walked out because of what you just called me. But I didn't." Joe tilted his head, curious. "Why not?" "Because," she said, leaning into the mic, "I know something about you." The air in the room changed. Even the sound engineer sat forward. "You talk a lot about freedom and hard work," she continued, "but you never told your audience about a deal you made 10 years ago." Joe's brow furrowed. "What deal?" he asked. "You gave $250,000, quietly, to a rehab center in East LA. No press release, no cameras, no credit. That place went on to save more than 300 young men from drug addiction. And I know, Because I was one of the volunteer lawyers who helped clear their records so they could start over. The studio fell completely silent. Joe's eyes softened. How do you know about that? Because, Joe, Jasmine said with a small smile, we were working on the same side. You were making sure they got clean water, meals, and beds. I was making sure they got their lives back. And that's not the work of a fake lawyer, and it's not the work of a fake man. For a second, the tension cracked. Joe leaned back, blinking away something in his eyes. Guess the secret's out, he said quietly. I didn't want credit, just wanted to help. Exactly, Jasmine replied. Sometimes kindness is the most powerful deal you can make. The clip went viral within hours, not for the insult, but for the moment of truth. People saw a side of Joe Rogan they'd never seen. People saw that even in the age of loud opinions and quick judgments, kindness could still speak louder. Jasmine received thousands of messages. Not about the insult, not about her law degree, but from strangers saying, I just donated to a local shelter. I'm paying for a kid's school lunch tomorrow. You made me want to do something good, quietly. And Joe, he never mentioned the story again on his podcast. Not because he was embarrassed, but because real kindness doesn't need a rerun. Moral: kindness doesn't have to be loud to change the world. Sometimes the most powerful moments happen when you respond to cruelty with compassion. I can now add natural pauses, tone shifts, and pacing notes so this reads perfectly for a voice narration and lands exactly in the 10 to 12 minute range without feeling rushed. That way, it will feel like a living, breathing story when spoken.